Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Abdullahi Bukar with the matrix number 8231123028. Today, inshallah, I'll be talking about the MAAC Act of 2009. I'm going to talk about the Section 16A and 16B, Section 17A, Section 17B, Section 18, 23, 25, and the last one, which is 28, in bracket 1C, and also the offenses. Now, the first one here we have is Section 16A. The Section 16A states that any person corruptly solicits or accepts or agrees to accept for himself or for any other person any gratification. You have an example of a person here that committed this kind of crime. In 2021, Muhammad Isa Samad, the former chairman of the Federal Land Development Authority, FELDA in Malaysia, was found guilty of 9 charges of corruption related to the purchase of a hotel in Kuching, Sarawak. He was sentenced to 6 years in jail and fined 15.4 million RM. The charges stemmed from allegations that Samad received bribes totally was 3.9 million RM to approve the purchase of the Medica Palace Hotel and Suites for Felder Investment Corruptions (SDN) and BHN, a subsidiary of FELDA. The prosecution presented evidence that the bribes were paid in installations to Samad through his former special political officer. Samad denied the charges and maintained his innocence throughout the trial. He has appealed the verdict and the case is currently pending before the Court of Appeal. Moving on to the Section 16B. Section 16B states that any person corruptly gives, promises, or offer to any person any gratification. We have an example of a person here also, which is Datuk Abubakar Muhammad Yusuf. He is a former Malaysian politician who was found guilty in 2015 of 3 counts of criminal breaches of trust for misappropriating 28.6 million RM from Yayasan Kelab Belia Felda. He was sentenced to 12 years in jail for each charge to be served concurrently. The charges stemmed from allegation that Datuk Abubakar, who was the chairman of the foundation at the time, had used the fund for personal gain, including purchasing properties and paying off debts. The prosecution presented evidence that he had transferred the fund from the foundation's account to his own personal accounts and those of his family members. Datuk Abubakar denied the charges and claimed that he had used the funds for legitimate purposes, such as investing in properties that will benefit the foundation. However, the court found his defense to be unconvincing and convicted him on all 3 charges. The conviction of Datuk Abubakar was also significant because it was one of the first cases in Malaysia to be brought under the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act 2001. The law gives the authorities wide-ranging power to investigate and prosecute money laundering offences, and it has been used to target a number of high-profile individuals in recent years. Moving on to the third one here is Section 17A. Section 17A states that as an agent corruptibly accepts or obtains any gratification. On 1st February 2021, at approximately 7 p.m., at 72 Foot Court number 8, Jalan Muhammad Akil have bribed a bribe of 5,000 RM to an agent of the Malaysian government, namely Corporal Abdurrahman bin Ahmad, junior police officer in Platon 9 Company C, Battalion 5 Central Brigade General Operation Force Department of Internal Security and Public Order, Simpang Rengam, Johor, as an encouragement to him not to do anything related with the principal matter, namely not taking legal action against you for committing the offense of possessing liquor believed to be untaxed, which is an offense under Act 1967, and thus you have committed an offense under Act Section 17A of the Anti-Corruption Commission in Malaysia 2009 and punishable under Section 24 of the same Act. Punishment is 7 days imprisonment and a fine of 20,000 RM. Moving on to the next one here, we have the Section 17B. The Section 17B states that to give or offer a bribe to any agent. Now we have an example of a person here that committed this kind of crime. In 2018, Lee Sontek, a former owner in Malaysia, was found guilty of bribing an enforcement assistant from the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry. He was accused of offering 30,150 RM to avoid legal action for storing subsidized fertilizer without a license. Here's a breakdown of the details. The crime he did is bribery under Section 214 of the Penal Code. Sentence is 100,000 RM fine, 10 months in jail if the fine is not paid. Victim: Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry Enforcement Assistance. Details: Lee offered uh, 30,150 RM to the enforcement assistant to turn a blind eye to his unlicensed fertilizer storage. The bribe money was confiscated by the government. It's important to note that this case involved a specific individual and incident, and it's crucial to avoid generalizing about any particular group of people based on this event. Lee Sontek has already been tried and found guilty in this case by the Malaysian legal system. Section 18. This states that any person providing documents such as receipts or invoices that are false or contains false details with the intention to deceive the principal in bracket office. Kota Kinabalu. Five civil servants claimed trial at the Special Corruption Court here for making false claims on transfer costs to various districts involving 61,500 RM. They are, as mentioned here in the slides, their names and their age. All of them are employed by the Sabah Town and Regional Planning Department. Rosida faced two charges, while the four men had one charge each under Section 18 of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act, which is of the 2009, punishable under Section 24 in bracket 2 of the same Act 2009. Moving on to the next section is the Section 23. And this section states that any officer of a public body who uses his office or position for any gratification, whether for himself, his relative, or associates, commits an offense. An example of a person here is Najib Razak, which is the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, has been linked to various allegations of corruption and financial wrongdoing during his tenure. While he maintains his innocence and the legal proceedings are ongoing, it's important to approach the topic with sensitivity and respect for due process. Section 25. This section states that any person who is given, promised, or offered any bribe to violate the provisions of the Act shall report such gift, promise, or offer. A JACO assistant agricultural officer in Kuantan Stations Court was fined 3,000 RM after admitting guilt to two charges of not reporting a 300 RM bribe received from a local individual. The incidents took place at a Kuala Lipis restaurant on January 5th, 2022 at around 4 p.m. The charges allege a violation of the MAAC Act 2009 for not disclosing the bribe and the giver's name. The officer is accused under Section 25 of the MAAC Act 2009 and may face a 12-month prison term if the fine is not paid. Moving on to the last section here, which is the Section 28 in bracket 1C. This states that any person providing documents such as receipts or invoice that are false or contain false details with the intention to deceive the principal in bracket office. Rosina Abubakar entered a plea of not guilty to the accusation of conspiring with an individual to file a false ca- claim for the Career Generation Program 2.0 incentive form (SOSCO) related to an online business management course under the program from October 4th to December 1st, 2021, amounting to 9,597.78 ringgit. She faced charges under Section 18 of the MAAC Act 2009 in conjunction with the Section 28 1C of the same Act, with potential punishment as per Section 24 bracket 2 of the MACC Act. The judge approved bail at 10,000 RM, coupled with the condition of monthly reporting to the MAAC office and surrendering the passport to the court until the case concludes. The next hearing is scheduled for December 21st, 2023. Thank you so much, and that's all.